أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائبا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك توغى وتمتعه فيها طويلا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. We were reciting the Ziyarat Jame'at Kabeera, and it was mentioned that it is reported from Imam Hadi alayhi salatu wassalam, and it is one of those beautiful ziyarat with which you can address any of the imams, and one who understands this beautiful Ziyarat Jame'at Kabeera has indeed understood the entire concept of imamat that we have. And throughout these sessions so far it was mentioned that imamat, it is that whole soul authority that Allah has given to the imams alayhimus salam. So we have to accept them as the custodian in all our living. Whatever we do, it has to be in line with the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. We said, Assalamu alaikum ya Ahl Bayt al-Nubuwwah wa Mawdha al-Risalah, the center point of Risalat, wa Mukhtalaf al-Malaika, where the free angels they frequent, Mahbit al-Wahy, the landing place of the revelation, and the source of all mercy, wa Khuzan al-Ilm, the treasure of knowledge, wa Muntaha al-Hilm, and the ultimate in forbearance and tolerance, and wa usul al-karam wa qadat al-umam, they are the foundation of benevolence and the leaders of all nations, wa awliya an-na'am, and the custodian of all bounties. Now today's sentence is wa anasir al-abrar. Anasir means the source of the virtuous. Anasir, it's the plural of unsur. Unsur, it means the source or the element or the essence. So Anasir al-Abrar means the source of Abrar. Abrar, it's the plural of Bar. Bar means truthful, means obedient. So they are the source of all truthful. They are the source of all obedient. There is no one in this creation of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala as obedient as the Imams alayhimus salam. Now even in the Anbiya, we believe in the ismat and the infallibility of the prophets, but there have been flaws that were seen in the prophets that were never seen in any of the Imams alayhimus salam. Now even all those turuki awla, those things that should not have been done by the prophets, like Prophet Adam coming closer to the tree, or like Prophet Yusuf not disembarking from his ride before his father. Although it's not haram, it wasn't makruh, but there were things that they should not have had been performed by the prophets. That is what we call as tark awla. So in the Imams alayhimus salam, we do not find these tark awla as well. So Anasir al-Abrar means the source and the essence, the element of the truthful, of the virtuous. Now, with reference to the Imams alayhimus salam, as an introduction, when Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He wants to express His attributes and His asma through His creation, He created various creatures, the skies, the heavens, the sun, the moon, the stars, and all other creation were created by the Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And then He created man. He created and then He taught him to speak. And then He made him the Khalifa, that is His Khalifa, the Khalifa of the Almighty Allah on earth. Now we can see this in Quran. It says, Ar-Rahman allama al-Quran, khalaqa al-insan, allamahu al-bayan. So the All-Beneficent has taught the Quran, He created man, and He taught him the articulate speech, allamahu al-bayan. So Allah, when He wants to express or He wants to show His asma, that is His asma or His words of His perfection, He wants to show them in the form of His creation, and the best of His creation is man. And then He says, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa. That is, indeed I'm going to make him a khalifa, a viceroy on the earth. Now that He has created man as His Khalifa on the earth, now He says, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. God taught all the names to Adam alayhi salam. Now in the Tafseer that we have from Imam Askari alayhi salam and Imam Sajjad alayhi salam, here they say that they are the names of the prophets and their enemies. Both of them were taught to Prophet Adam who the enemies are and who the friends are. So Asma, names, does not mean languages, but it is the source of their existence that is being mentioned. Now this source of their existence, it is at times known as Asma, sometimes addressed as Kalimat, or on occasions it is said as Mabadi. So all three are the same. So created through them and are provided and nourished by them. وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. So Allah, He created man, He taught man, He reflected all His attributes on this creation through man and made man His own Khalifa. And that Khalifa also was taught by the Almighty Allah and all His good names. Those names are the names of the enemies and the foes, the friends and the foes of man. And then this is what and all of this is being given to the Imam alayhi salam. Now when we see Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam in Dua Kumail, he says, وَبِأَسْمَائِكَ الَّتِي مَلَأَتْ أَرْكَانَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. That is, I swear by your name, by your names that have been filled and encompassed in this entire creation. In every corner, in every base of this creation, we find and we see your names, O Lord. It is all your existence that is seen in this entire creation. Therefore, since reality of man is comprehensive and composed of all haqa'iq, of all truth, therefore it is naturally later than all truths, and therefore it contains perfection of those truths and is the mirror of all divine attributes. Therefore only man deserves the khilafat of the Almighty Allah, and other beings do not have such a right to be the Khalifa of the Almighty Allah. Now, when we have this introduction in our mind, therefore the origin of all things and the key of all light, darkness, intellect, ignorance, infidelity, faith, kufr, iman, all of this exists in human beings. Just as human beings have angels and then jinn, devils, paradise and darkness, light, all these are the different creation of the Almighty. And it is from the aspect that the existence of man is addressed as Ashraful Makhluqat. Ashraf means the best of the creation. Among all the creation of the Almighty Allah, the best and the superb, or the excellent creation of Allah is the human being, is man. سألت أبا جعفر أما يرون أن الله تعالى خلق آدم على سورة فقال هي سورة محدثة مخلوقة واصطفاها الله واختارها على سائر السور. The reporter, he says that I asked Imam Jafar alayhi Baqir alayhi salatu wassalam regarding the creation of man, and there he says that Allah created man in the best form, وَاخْتَارَهَا عَلَى سَائِرِ السُّوَرِ, and then chose this creation of man over every other creation. Then says فَأَضَافَهَا إِلَى نَفْسِهِ, and once he created mankind, he says that this is mine. Just like the Kaaba, he created the Kaaba and then says, Kaaba, it's my house. Says man, human being is also mine, إلى نفسه. And then says, وَالرُّوحِ إِلَى نَفْسِهِ فَقَالَ بَيْتِي وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. To the Kaaba, he says, my house. And to human being, he says, نَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. That is, in this human being, it was I who blew my own soul in this human being. نَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. So mankind, he is the best of the creation of the Almighty Allah. And then all these qualities that you see that are present in the Almighty Allah are reflected in the human being. And among the human beings also, the best of the human beings are the Imams alayhimus salam. So all of these qualities and attributes that belong to the Almighty Allah are reflected maximum in the existence of the Imams alayhimus salam. So it makes more sense now to understand when we say that Anasir al-Abrar, that the Imams, they are the elements, they are the source, they are of the virtues of the truthful, wa Anasir al-Abrar. Now, to understand this a little bit more, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, he says that when he wanted to create mankind, says he created mu'mineen from the same clay with which Muhammad and Al Muhammad were created. Now, I'll recite some more riwayat that we have. Now, coming to Quran, in Surah Al-A'raf, ayah number 172, the Almighty, he says that وَإِذْ أَخَذَ رَبُّكَ مِنْ بَنِي آدَمَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَأَشْهَدَهُمْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ أَلَسْتُ بِرَبِّكُمْ قَالُوا بَلَىٰ شَهِدْنَا. That when your Lord, he took from the children of Adam, that is initially prior to stepping into this dunya, Allah, when he created Prophet Adam alayhi salam, now all the human beings that are to come until the day of judgment, come into existence, to be born until the day of judgment, all of them were created by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in the form of very small particles, like little ants. And all of them, they emerged from Prophet Adam. All of them existed. Now, from the good and the bad, the faithful and the faithless, and all the mustaz'afin. Now, mustaz'af, we did talk about that in one of the sessions. Mu'min are the faithful. Kafir are the faithless. And then we've got mustad'af. Mustad'af are the weak ones, who neither fall in the category of being faithful, nor are they against faith. So they are the weak ones. Now all of them were created by the Almighty, and in the form of small particles they emerged from Prophet Adam, and there Allah took an allegiance from them. That is, على أنفسهم ألست بربكم. The Almighty, He said, am I not your Lord? قالوا بلى شهدنا. And all of those beings that emerged from Prophet Adam, all of them, they said, yes indeed. Yes indeed, you are our Lord. Now here Allah took the allegiance from them, that on the day of judgment they don't deny, they don't reject. Now those of who followed the guidance, they were classified as faithful, and those who stood against guidance, they were among the faithless. Now in a hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salatu wasalam says, Inna Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala haythu khalaqa al-khalq khalaqa ma'an azban wa malihan ujajan, that when Allah, He created the creation, initially He created water which was sweet, and then water that was bitter. He mixed the two, and then clay was created, and He mixed that clay as well, and then He created from them Ashabul Yameen, that is the right wing, and from them He created the left wing, the Ashab al-Shimal. To the right wing they were said that to the heaven you proceed, and to the left wing they were asked to move towards the hell. Now these riwayat we do have, and then again the same ayah that was recited earlier, قالوا بلى شهدنا أن تقولوا يوم القيامة إنا كنا عن هذا غافلين, that Allah says that, do you admit this allegiance, and on the day of judgment we don't want you to say that we did not know. So everything was known to everyone right from the inception of the creation. Now we do have other riwayat. For example, one of them is from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, says, Inna Allah azza wa jal khalaqa al-mu'min min teenatil jannah. Allah, He created the believers with the clay of the heaven. Wa khalaqa al-kafir min teenatil nar, and kuffar were created from the clay of the fire. Now, other riwayat, they say that now this is something that mu'mineen, they must have witnessed it for themselves, that sometimes the atmosphere is such, like for example in a majlis something is being recited, a hadith is being said, and it hits the heart and you feel and you enjoy it. Now this is how the guidance of Allah takes place. Says, إِذَا أَرَادَ اللَّهُ بِعَبْدٍ خَيْرًا طَيَّبَ رُوحَهُ وَجَسَدَهُ. Says, when Allah intends the good of an individual, He makes his body and soul pure. فَلَا يَسْمَعْ شَيْئًا مِنَ الْخَيْرِ إِلَّا عَرَفَهُ. So when he hears something which is good, it is something he knew, that he feels within himself that although he is hearing it now, but within himself as if it was already known to him. عرفه. وَلَا يَسْمَعْ شَيْئًا مِنَ الْمُنْكَرِ إِلَّا أَنْكَرَهُ. Or if it was something evil that he comes to know or hear, that evil also, it's something that he already detested before it is being told to him. That is how that creation of man is, and when Allah intends the good of His servants, this is how He makes them. Now, then in another quote says that at-tinat thalas, creations, or this clay with which we are created, they are of three kinds. Tinatul anbiya wal mu'min min tilka tina. It is a clay with which the prophets were created. Mu'mineen are created with that clay. Ala innal anbiya hum min safwatihim. And from the best of those creation, they are the prophets. Humul asl, they are the source. Walahum fadluhum wal mu'minun al fara'. So they are the superior, and mu'mineen, they are then next in line. So, من طين لازم كذلك لا يفرق الله عز وجل بينه وشيعتهم. Now it makes more sense that when it is the 13th of Rajab, for example, or when it is the 15th of Sha'ban. In all these happy occasions, even if anything is not said or recited or uttered, or even if it is not celebrated, within yourself you feel that there is a joy that is taking place. Or on the day of Ashura, before you have participated in a majlis, by the mere look at that black banner, you feel sad, you feel like crying. That is how that connection is between us and that Imam and the Anbiya. It is in the creation, and we do have riwayat, and where Imam alayhi salatu wassalam, Imam al-Asr, he says that Allahumma inna shi'atana khalaqta min shu'a'i anwarina wa baqiyati tinatina, that God, you have created our Shias with the rays of our light, with the leftover clay with which we were created. Now these Shias, they have committed wrong. Now sometimes wrong in huququllah, and at times wrong in huququl nas. Then Imam says that God, if it is huququllah, like prayers and fast and hajj, if they have wronged in that, I mediate and I ask you to forgive them, you also accept. And if it is huququn nas, like money matters, like khums and zakat, etc., if it is that they haven't paid and they have wronged and made sins by not paying their rights and dues, God make them rich, so that khums becomes wajib on them. And khums is the right of the Imam alayhi salam. And Imam says that I will pay their debts with this haqq which is mine, that is khums. We have an Imam that is that kind. And when we look into all of these riwayat and all of these ayat that were until now recited, that shows us the connection of mu'mineen with the Anbiya, with the Imams, and the connection of kuffar, mushrikeen and munafiqeen, and all of them with the other lot. Natinatun nasib min hama'im masnoon. And then it says that the nasibin, those who are the opponents of the Imams alayhimus salam, they have been created with an old expired clay. And then وَأَمَّا الْمُسْتَضْعَفُونَ, mustad'afun, they are the weak ones, who don't know, or the message hasn't reached them. They don't know what guidance is, what haqq is, what batil is. For them, فَمِن تُرَابٍ لَا يَتَحَوَّلْ مُؤْمِنْ عَنْ إِيمَانِهِ. So they have been created with dust. Now, these mustad'afin, for them also Allah, He has placed another. In the akhirah, it's neither the hell nor the heaven. So because they don't deserve the heaven, for they haven't done to earn the heaven, or at the same time they don't deserve the hell because the message wasn't, they did not get that message. So they will not be punished, nor will they will be placed in a place where neither the charms and the comfort of the heaven is there, nor the punishment and the horror of the hell is going to be there. Now this was a little bit about the creation. Now in Quran, we do have many ayat that talk about this creation of man. First of all, Allah the Almighty, He says, Am khuliqu min ghayri shay'in, am humul khaliqun. That is, where they created from nothing, or are they their own creators? So creator of man is Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and He created him in the best form. Now when they talk about the creation of man from other species, etc., now all this goes under question. Now another ayah that is mentioned over here in Quran says, أَوَلَا يَذْكُرُ الْإِنسَانَ أَنَّا خَلَقْنَاهُ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَلَمْ يَكُ شَيْئًا. Says that, does man not know that we created him min qabl walam yaku shay'a, and he did not exist. So from non-existence Allah created man. هل أتى على الإنسان حين من الدهر لم يكن شيئا مذكورا. Has there been a period of time for man when he was not anything worthy of mention? So Allah created him, brought him into existence, and said, this is my creation, it is my soul, he is my Khalifa on the land. Or for example, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. Here in this surah, he says that we certainly created man in the best of forms, and then we relegated him to the lowest of the low. ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. Or in Surah Al-Mulk, he says that هُوَ الَّذِي أَنْشَأَكُمْ وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ قَلِيلًا مَا تَشْكُرُونَ. Now all these are different phases of the creation of man. Initially he says he was nothing, I gave him existence. Then I gave him existence. Here he says that it is he who created you and made you hearing, and he gave you eyesight and hearts. Little do you thank. Or for example, in the same Surah Al-Mulk says, وَهُوَ الَّذِي ذَرَأَكُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَإِلَيْهِ تُحْشَرُونَ. Now this is regarding the creation of mankind, and on the day of judgment how he will be raised. Say, it is he who created you on earth, and toward him you will be gathered. That is on the day of judgment. Now Quran in Surah Al-Mu'minun says, وَلَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ سُلَالَةٍ مِنْ طِينٍ. That is, we created the drop of fluid as a clinging mass. ثُمَّ جَعَلْنَاهُ نُطْفَةً فِي قَرَارٍ مَكِينٍ. And then we created the clinging mass as a fleshy tissue. ثُمَّ خَلَقْنَا النُّطْفَةَ عَلَقَةً فَخَلَقْنَا الْعَلَقَةَ مُضْغَةً. Then we created the fleshy tissue as bones, and then we clothed the bones with flesh, and then we produced him as another creature. So blessed is Allah, the best of creators. فَتَبَارَكَ اللَّهُ أَحْسَنُ الْخَالِقِينَ. So the creation of man, how Allah He created. Now this man who has been created is created on the nature with which Allah wants, and that is that fitrat that Allah has created man initially. فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِخَلْقِ اللَّهِ. So that nature on which, and that is obedience to the Allah, believing His as the one creator, that is that nature, that is that fitrat of man when he is created. And that is why we believe that, and the ahadith also that we have, the teachings that we have, any person born anywhere on earth is a Muslim, because he is born on the nature, on the fitrat of Islam. Hadith says from the Prophet, كُلُّ مَوْلُودٍ يُولِدُ عَلَى الْفِطْرَةِ. It is the parents, ثُمَّ أَبَوَاهُ هُمَا اللَّذَانِ يَهُودَانِهِ وَيَنْصُرَانِهِ. It is the father, it is the parents who make them Jews and Christians. So when a baby is born, we don't need to make him a Muslim. He is born a Muslim, according to the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, with reference to the creation of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, إن الله تبارك وتعالى خلق نور محمد قبل أن خلق السماوات والأرض. Allah, He created the nur and the light of Muhammad way before the creation of the skies and the earth. The earth, kursi, lawh, qalam, jannah, nar, heaven, hell. Before all of this was created, it was created. The light of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad was created. Even before the creation of Adam and Nuh and Ibrahim and Ismail and Ishaq and Yaqub wa Musa wa Isa wa Dawood wa Sulaiman wa kullu man qala Allah azza wa jal fi qawlihi wa wahabna lahu Ishaq wa Yaqub ila qawlihi, says that He created them بأربعمائة ألف سنة, 400,000 years before the creation of all of them. Allah, He created them. وَخَلَقَ عَزَّ وَجَلْ مَعَهُ إِثْنَيْ عَشَرَ حِجَابًا. And then 12 veils were created with them. Now, the creation of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad is way before. Now, this question may come to your mind, that how come if the creation is way before and then they are born just 1400 years ago? Now, they're here to understand this. They have an existence, they have many kinds, different kinds of existences. So there is an existence that they had, it is way before the creation comes into existence. So the first creation is the Noor and the light of Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. أول ما خلق الله Nuri. The Prophet, he says that the first light that he created, it was my light. Or for example, لولاهم لما خلق الأفلاك. Another quote says that if it wasn't for the Imams, Allah would not have had created the creations. So the creation has been created for the Imams. Or elsewhere says لولاك لما خلقت الأفلاك. If it wasn't for you, the Prophet, I would not have had created. Or in this hadith kisa that we recite, إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدحية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مضيئة, that I did not create the glowing sun, the luminant moon, the skies, the earth, the seas, whatever you see, إلا لمحبتكم, but it is for the mahabbat and the love that I have towards you, Ya Rasulullah, that is you, as you the Ahlul Bayt in Hadith Qissa. So everything has been created for them. So there is a creation, or there is an existence of the Imams prior to stepping into this dunya. There is an existence they have when they were born into this dunya. There is an existence they have in their qubur. There is an existence they have in their presence. In all these different forms you see there is an existence, and they all exist. Now, we believe that the Imams alayhimus salam, when you greet them, they get your salam, your greeting, it reaches them, and they respond to that, as it is wajib. Like it is wajib on me to respond to your salam, it is wajib on the Imams also to respond to your salam. That is why when we enter into the sacred shrines of the Imams, we say that ashhadu annaka tasma'u kalami wa taruddu salami, that I bear witness that you hear my talk, my word, and I bear witness that you respond to my salam. That is that aqidah. So they have that existence, that form in which they respond and they speak to you, and when you talk to them, that message also instantly gets to them. Now, to understand this as well, in the opening of the talk it was mentioned that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He has His attributes, He has His qualities, He has His sifat. And then He says He wants to create and He wants to show or reflect His sifat and His attributes, and He created them in the form of a human being, and He inspired this human being, or all the attributes of the Almighty, they were reflected in this human being, and all of them were seen in the Prophet and the Imams and the Anbiya alayhimus salam. So we've got a name of the Almighty which is called Sami'. Sami' means He hears, He listens. So when the Almighty listens, and the Prophet is a reflection of the attributes of the Almighty Allah, means that attribute of being Sami' is also reflected in the Prophet, is reflected in the Imams alayhimus salam. Now, Prophet Musa alayhi salam was given an assignment to take his wife and children away on a mission. Prophet Musa, he worried what will happen and how will the family be provided. Allah had given this asa, the staff, or this stick to Prophet Musa, which performed miracles. He said to Prophet Musa, hit the stick on the rock. Prophet Musa hit, and the rock, it cracked open. In that rock was another rock. Allah asked him to hit again. He hit, and that rock also, it cracked open. For the third time, when he hit, another rock opened in that, and there was a worm eating something in that third rock that was embedded in 3 layers of 3 big boulders, 3 rocks. And that worm was saying that glory belongs to him who hears me, even deep down in this rock, provides me, nourishes me, and feeds me here, and hears and listens to whatever I say from this deep down rock. There Prophet Musa, he bowed down in sajda. So this attribute of being Sami'a, that is listening, is also reflected in the Imams, is reflected in the Prophets. So when we say that, when we go to the shrine of the Imam and we call them, we address them, we speak to them, or even from here where we are living away from the Imam's shrines, when we speak to them, that message gets to them instantly, immediately. That is because they have that reflection of that quality and attribute of the name of Allah, which is Sami'a. Likewise are all the other names of the Almighty Allah, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Now, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, He says that Inna Allah khalaqana. Now this is a hadith from Imam Baqir. Says that Inna Allah khalaqana min a'la 'aliyyin wa khalaqa quluba shi'atina mimma khalaqna minhu wa khalaqa abdanahum min duni dhalik. Again, a similar riwayat that was earlier mentioned, that Imam Baqir alayhi salam says that Allah created us from the best of the clays, from a'la 'aliyyin, and He created the hearts of our Shias with which we were created. وَخَلَقَ أَبْدَانَهُم مِّن دُونِ ذَلِكَ, and the bodies of our Shias were created from a lower level clay with which we were created. وَقُلُوبُهُمْ تَحْتَ إِلَيْنَا, and that is why you see that the hearts of mu'mineen, they are inclined towards us. لِأَنَّهَا خُلِقَتْ مِمَّا خَلَقْنَا ثُمَّ تَلَا هَذِهِ الْآيَةِ. And then the reason why the hearts of mu'mineen are inclined towards us, the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, it's because of the same clay creation that we have. And then Imam recites this ayah, كَلَّا إِنَّ كِتَابَ الْأَبْرَارِ لَفِي عِلِّيِّينَ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا عِلِّيُّونَ كِتَابٌ مَرْقُومٌ يَشْهَدُهُ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ. That indeed the book of the Abrar is with the Lafi Alliyin, is in the Alliyin. And again, if you remember the term that we were talking about, that Anasir al-Abrar, that Imams, they are the essence or the elements or the source of all the truthful, of the virtuous, of the Abrar. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala count us among the Abrar, among the virtuous, among the truthful, and among those who are sincere and obedient to the Imams alayhimus salam. So being a Shia is a great honor or a bonus that has been given to mu'mineen by the Almighty Allah, and it is upon us that we protect this gem of Iman, and also we transfer it for generations to come. Ya Allah, between us, Quran and Ahlul Bayt, never ever come across a moment of separation, and Allah count us among the most obedient servants of the A'imma alayhimus salam. Ya Allah, hasten in the return of our Imam, our Master, our Hujjah, and count us all among His sincere servants, inshaAllah. وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.